Welcome to Developing Palates. This review recap is brought to you by J.C. Newman. Founded in 1895 by Julius Caesar Newman, J.C. Newman Cigar Company is the oldest family-owned premium cigar maker in America. J.C. Newman rolls its El Rolage, factory throwouts, and Trader Jack's cigars by hand-operated vintage cigar machines at its historic cigar factory in Tampa, Florida. It also hand-rolls its Brick House, Perla del Mar, El Baton, and Quorum cigars at the J.C. Newman Pinza Cigar Factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. J.C. Newman's Diamond Crown, Maximus, Julius Caesar, and Black Diamond cigars are handmade at Tabacalera A Fuente in the Dominican Republic. With its longtime partners, the Fuente family, the Newmans founded the Cigar Family Charitable Foundation, which supports low-income families in the Dominican Republic with education, healthcare, vocational training, and clean water. Learn more by visiting jcnewman.com. Hello, everyone. Aaron Loomis here in the Ventura Cigar Company studio. With me today is John McTavish. How you doing, John?
Good, man. Knocking out reviews like it's a 12th round.
That's right. So today we are talking about the Casa Turrent 1880 Toro. Cigar is 6 1/4 by 52. Comes out of the Nueva Matacapan de Tabacos factory in Mexico. Wrapper is Mexican San Andres Maduro. Binder is Mexican Criollo 98. Filler is Mexican Negro San Andres, Mexican Criollo 98, and Nicaraguan Criollo 98. Blended by Alejandro Turrent. Price point is $17, and the cigar was released in December of 2017. So with all that out of the way, John, take us through your smoking experience.
So the first third kicked off with sweet baking spices, wood, and I noticed right away, and I don't get this in a lot of cigars, but I was salivating like crazy, like so much so I had to wipe my cigar off, which is pretty kind of embarrassing, actually. So there is something to be said about blending a cigar for a good mouthfeel, and you know, we talk about sometimes cigars giving us a dry mouthfeel. This was definitely not that. There was a really nice, elegant creaminess on the retrohale, cocoa, and then a kind of a malty sweetness. Like, you know, like when I say malty sweetness, I think like stouts, where it just kind of built up an intensity over time and kind of eased you in. Really enjoyable. Little light leather to anchor everything in the post draw. Maybe a little bit of black pepper and cocoa. I mean, you know, some of dark, earthy, crunchy, chewy flavors. All maybe at about a medium minus. So, you know, it sounds like some of those flavors are pretty intense, but it was all quite well balanced. Middle third, kind of a little bit more cedar, a little bit more dark chocolate rather than cocoa, which again kind of fits with the theme of dark flavors. Then cocoa kind of came back in the mid palate about halfway through, so you got cedar and cocoa. And then I know June, who wasn't in this review, but he's very sensitive to minerality. I'm normally not sensitive to minerality, but I did get minerality at about the halfway mark in the middle third. It was definitely detectable, and sometimes that's tough to get away from on San Andreas. It's kind of a hallmark sometimes, but enjoyable. And then the cocoa kind of had this really nice lingering flavor to it that mixed into the post draw, and then there was this sort of really chewy earth in the post draw. Last third, the profile kind of dropped off a bit, unfortunately. The palate became a little dry, so it was kind of dry cedar. Still some earth on the post draw. Still some mild baking spices in the mid palate, but the profile wasn't as complex and wasn't as interesting as the first and middle third. So for me, I rated it as an average. In terms of burning construction, really good. You know, a little bit uneven in the second third, requiring one touch up, but I probably could have let it go. So overall, I thought the burning construction was our highest rating at amazing. Curiously, I had draw issues. It had like 2.5 to 3 notches of resistance, so I wouldn't say it was tight, but it was definitely on the snug side. But clearly didn't affect the burn, clearly didn't affect the flavor, so I don't have any explanation. Aaron, walk us through your tasting experience.
Yeah, for me, it started with a profile of dark wood and earth. It was kind of like a subtle cocoa note in the background, but by the half-inch mark, that cocoa had faded away. But some mustiness had joined in to kind of go along with that dark wood and earth. About an inch in, mellow black pepper joins the profile. Retrohale's got that dark wood and mustiness going on there. And then as the first surge wrapping up, a little bit of oak kind of pokes through that general dark wood note to go along with the earth, the mustiness, and that mellow black pepper. Strength in the first third, already at the slightly above medium mark. And then getting in the second third, a little bit of cocoa returns. Oak's no longer present as it's kind of back to the dark wood and earth profile. 3/4 of an inch in, a little bit of char joins in. Retrohale still maintains that combination of the dark wood and the mustiness. And then a little bit further in, that black pepper and the cocoa drop out. Charred dark wood mustiness up front, earthiness kind of faint in the background. Strength actually drops down to the medium mark. And then in the final third, char became very faint. Dark wood mustiness still remained there. About a half inch in, the cigar warms up a little bit. It brings a little toast note to the profile. Retro's continuing on with that musty dark wood note. About an inch in, char increases some more, becomes even with that dark musty wood. And then as things wrap up, char has continued to build, kind of takes the lead in the profile, and the strength bumped back up to the slightly above medium mark. In regards to construction, burn was pretty wavy throughout. Went out once in the middle third, required a relight. Ash held on 1.25 inch increments. But in regards to the draw, it was perfect. I had no issues with it. It had the right amount of resistance that I prefer.
That's funny.
So yeah, we were kind of flip-flop on that.
Flip-flop, yeah.
So overall, John, what are your thoughts on this one?
It was good. I've had quite a lot of cigars from Casa Turrent. They've always had a large presence in Canada, so I've had the pleasure of kind of trying his range. I wasn't quite sure what to expect. I would say it definitely has the fingerprints of coming from Casa Turrent, but it's not a mirror image or a duplication or a clone of anything else that he makes. So I was pleasantly surprised. I can't say that I necessarily knew what my expectations were going in, but this isn't what I expected, so I was pleasantly surprised. Definitely on the darker tones and the flavors, but what's nice is sometimes, and actually very often, when you get darker flavors in a cigar, they just go immediately to 9 or 10, so you're chewing on earth, you got a mouthful of leather. Here, balance is the key. Medium minus, maybe medium all the way through, which was very pleasant. Very balanced, and I got 2 hours and 13 minutes smoking time, so certainly value proposition. Aaron?
Yeah, the cigar provided about what I was expecting from a cigar that it was pretty much dominantly, Mexican tobacco with a little bit of Nicaraguan in there. Dark wood, earth combination, a little bit hints of cocoa there. I thought the first third was pretty good. Second and final thirds were just kind of average for me. I do want to smoke more from Casa Turrent. I haven't smoked a lot. But I like to experience Mexican tobacco. But like you said, I don't want it where it's just like all the way to one side of the profile where it's just like dark, just super dark, and like your tongue's gone after the first third and you couldn't taste a nuance, if it popped up anywhere on the cigar. And this didn't do that. This was I think the perfect level of what the tobacco should bring to the cigar, because if you just get that dominant like charred earth or charred wood or black pepper or anything like that, it's just too much, and you can't taste the finer points of the cigar. So I did like the fact that this was kind of it gave you some flavors, but it didn't dominate your palate. So that was nice. The price point on this cigar is quite steep. So $17, this would kind of keep me away from wanting to come back to it just to see what I really thought of it. So I'm hoping some of the other lines in the portfolio are more affordably priced to be able to go after that. But I thought it was a good experience. I enjoyed smoking it. So I'm always on the lookout for more dominant Mexican tobacco cigars rather than just having it as a wrapper or a binder or something like that. So.
And I do find, because Alejandro has his own tequila, and I've had it, and it's very good. And high-end Mexican tequila actually goes really, really well. I guess that's a misnomer. All tequila is Mexican. But I found really high-end tequila goes really, really nice with his cigars.
Oh, okay. I have to try that out then. All right, let's get into the scores. Start at the top with you, John. 6.52. I gave it a 5.90. How do you think that 6.52 matched up with your experience?
That is bang on. 6.52 is exactly what a predominantly good with decent construction cigar should be. To me, that's exactly where it should be, and this is the kind of cigar that I wouldn't hesitate to pick up and smoke again. You?
Yeah, my 5.9. It's above average flavor profile. Pretty good construction. The burn could have been better. I only gave it a good mark, so it knocked down a couple of notches, but great draw. And I'd rather have a slightly poorer burn than a poor draw. So that's the way I'd kind of lean on that side. So I think it matched up well. The cigar, the experience I got definitely wants me to try more from the brand. So I think, you can't ask for more than, saying that you want to be able to try more. If it's a turn off to it and you're like, I don't care about this stuff, then it's okay in my book.
Absolutely.
Any other final thoughts from you on this one?
No, I'm excited to see Alejandro again. Super nice guy, very classy gentleman. See what he has in store for the 2019 IPCPR.
Exactly. All right. If you just catch this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us, but also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalettes.com. Follow us on all the social media sites, and you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts, so iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.